All right, welcome back to the Jeff Kennedy Show. I am, in fact, not Jeff Kennedy. Still filling in for him for the rest of the week. This is Monica Burris and...
Casey. I have my mic off, Monica.
Sorry. Welcome back. We are joined now by Jenn Vargas, Philanthropy and Outreach Coordinator for Habitat for Humanity of Flagstaff, and one of the new starter homeowners, Blaire Johnson, for our Building a Better Flagstaff segment every Thursday around 7:35. Good morning, you guys. How are you?
Good morning. Good. It's early, but it's a good day.
You're doing great. Have you had caffeine yet?
I have.
Awesome. Okay, good.
Working on it.
She was like, there's no line in Wicked. I'm going to go.
Go.
Like right in.
I know, right? It's mine.
So, Jen, the Blitz Home Build is officially over.
It's officially
How
over.
do you feel?
I feel a sense of relief.
Yeah, I bet.
We got a lot done, but we still have quite a bit to do.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a marathon. It was a great experience. There was a ton of people there, just, so willing to help and become a part of the team. But it was a lot of coordination with 10 homes being kind of at different stages through the whole 2 weeks, really, of the build. But yeah, it's, I was really grateful to not have to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning like you normally do.
It takes a while to get used to. And even then, it's still... So are all of the new homeowners moved in? And what was the last day on the site like? Can you paint the picture for us?
Yes, totally. So none of them are moved in. They won't be moved in for months. Really,
Gotcha. Okay.
Because, we still actually have to... They're currently laying the water line right now.
Got it.
So what the idea was, and really our goal was before the Blitz Build happened, was to have all of those lines laid, like the sewer, the water, whatever else. I'm not a construction person, but needs to be done. But we weren't able to achieve that before Blitz Build got here. No problem though. We were able to work around that. And so then as soon as the Blitz Build was over, it was like, all right, everybody off site, we need to dig this water line.
Yeah.
But that's going to help us tremendously, moving forward with all of the rest of the stuff that we need to do. I mean, we still need to paint, we still need to install cabinets, we still need to do flooring, which we're going to be kicking it into high gear, after this water line is laid, because the water really helps a lot.
Yeah.
But then, I hope that we can get it, August is our goal for a move-in date.
But you have the structure set in stone. Now it's just kind of like the exciting details of the rest of the homes, right?
Oh,
it's
there.
Yeah.
It's there. They're there. But yeah, we ended in different stages in every structure.
Gotcha.
So, but it's still... It looks amazing. It's definitely coming to fruition. It's been such a long journey of kind of just watching the boring parts of this whole thing, the infrastructure going in, but now having them built and up, and then having some siding in, having the drywall in, the cabinets, the plumbing, all of that. It's getting really exciting.
That is awesome.
We're getting there.
Very, very cool. So Blaire, welcome to you and congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. So
Super
tell
excited.
us a little bit about yourself.
So I've been in Flagstaff for 17 years. I moved here in 2008 out of high school, went to NAU, and then just started bartending in town and met this awesome community and just decided to stay here. Got some dogs. Got a boy.
There you go.
Now
you know you're Flagstaffian.
I've been a renter here for that entire time, essentially, except for when I was living on campus those short years.
Mm-hmm.
But rent's not cheap here.
Yeah.
You hear everyone that's local say poverty with a view, and we mean it, but we stay.
Yeah.
We certainly try to make it a point and figure it out.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I've been in positions where I've worked 3 jobs at a time.
Oh, yeah.
I work full-time in healthcare now, but there's been points in my life where I've had to bartend at 2 different places or, waitress somewhere just to make ends meet. So
100%.
This is really just giving a cool opportunity to have that stability.
Yeah. So what was the application process like for you? And then what did you feel like the moment that you found out that you were selected? What was that like?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so the application was definitely long.
Yeah.
It's a lot of pages, but you feel like you're just handing your soul over. You're like, here, this is everything I have to give. Yeah, and then you just really have to, defend yourself and why you're worthy of this kind of opportunity. Because in your mind, I know at least for me, I felt like I wasn't necessarily the kind of person that would deserve this kind of opportunity. But then the more and more you're talking to the other homeowners, you're like, no, we are the kind of people that they're looking for. So the application was, long, but it was fairly easy. Just a lot of paperwork. And then, that happened I think we turned those in November, December.
Yeah, it was the last day was the last day of November.
Yeah. And
Gotcha.
then in March, you get the call for your house visit interview. And that was kind of like, okay, well, it's getting real now. Like, they want to come talk to me. They want to hear more of my story. They want to see like how I live, exactly what my needs are. And that process was cool. We just sat on my couch for a couple hours and just talked. And it was really refreshing just to see that side of, your team, Jen. And
yeah, it was funny after her, because our selection committee, and sorry to interrupt, but they like break up into groups because, there's so many people at that stage still. And I remember the two that went to her house, they came back with her file and they were like, we love her. We love her. And of course, I'm not supposed to say anything, but Blaire's a good friend of mine. And so I was like, I know you would. I knew you would. Like, I know that.
It was funny. They were like in my driveway for 2 hours. It felt like 2 hours.
Still
and I was like
about
peeping in the window.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, they're still here. A lot of hand gestures, a lot of emotion. And then the day I found out that I was selected as a homeowner, Jen came to my work. I work at Flagstaff Bone and Joint. So her and Eric came into the lobby, and I looked at Jen, and I may have swore directly at her with the shock that I had. But
She did.
It was like,
She did.
I was like in shock. I think I was basically speechless. I was like, this is happening. This is actually happening.
Yeah.
This happened.
Yeah.
And then, it took me like probably the next week to just really like let it sink in.
Sure.
But, when you go out to the build, I took all week last week off to be a part of the Blitz Build. And when you get to the site, it's just so surreal.
Yeah.
And my house is one of the houses that is probably the least finished right now because it's on the end. But I just kept on looking at my house. I was like, oh my God.
You're mine.
That's mine.
Yeah.
I know. My mom's like, go stand on the porch. Let's take a picture. Go inside. Let's take a picture. Do this. Like, let's go stand next to this nail.
Yeah.
This. It's
This
for
is my
your
nail.
house.
Yeah.
Well, her parents were like measuring like for the blinds. Like they were
I
there,
know.
so her parents came out and helped.
That's
and-
incredible.
We are prepared. I'm ready to start buying things.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about that. So the homeowners, you don't just like get the key and like move on in because it's all yours. So you actually have to participate in the build.
Mhm.
So what was that like meeting the other homeowners too? Did you feel like a sense of like camaraderie with them as well? Like,
Yeah.
we did this together.
I think we all share like a certain kind of bond already because we're in this experience together, and a lot of us are like service industry folks, healthcare. Like we've all been here, and we have a very similar story. We got to meet with Governor Katie Hobbs, and we got to share our stories with her, and every one of us was like, we've been long-term renters. This would have never been an option to be a homeowner in Flagstaff. Like if prices continue to grow like they are, we're either going to have to go back to the 3-job game, move in with family, or leave.
Right.
So we all essentially said the same thing. So it's nice to have that bond. And we're already planning like a community barbecue, a block party when we move in. Like there's all this stuff that we were talking about the entire
You're not
week.
just building homes for individuals. You're building essentially a community.
Absolutely.
Gosh, this is so good.
I know. No, it's actually been really cool to watch and see, everybody interact and like meet each other. And yeah, I mean, unfortunately, this, I guess the first 10, I should say, I think that group has the most waiting to do.
Right.
They're really getting to see, like exactly what Eric and I see. We're all in it together, but at the same time, they are understanding. They get to understand like what we're working with and how construction schedules work.
Yeah.
Especially in Flagstaff.
Especially in Flagstaff. So, this particular group, they're just really special because they,
100%.
they've got the most of the waiting to do, really. I mean, they have the longest application process, or they will, and then,
finishing up the build and all that.
Exactly.
So tell us a little bit more about the actual dedication ceremony. What was like maybe one huge takeaway for you that was like a super shiny moment that you won't forget?
Do you want to start?
Or the whole thing,
Well, I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off
She
because
was.
I was
She was all over the
like
place.
doing the logistics
Sure,
for it and trying to make sure everything was moving and on schedule. And because that, originally the dedication day was Katie was going to come out and build with the homeowners for a couple hours and have lunch, and then she broke her foot, and so that kind of threw a wrench in things. But I honestly thought she was just going to be like, okay, we're going to scrap that. I'm just going to come for the dedication, blah, blah, blah. But she was like, but I want to meet the homeowners.
Right.
So then we kind of reworked the schedule, had like a little meet and greet. And so that really for me was the best part, because, she got to see the structure. She got to meet the homeowners, have a one-on-one, like no interruption. And then she really incorporated that into her speech. And she, her being an NAU alumni, and she was a social worker, she understands.
Right.
And so I think it was really special for her. I think it's really special for the homeowners. And then, it helped. I think it just helped her to understand, I'm sure it was hard to live here when she was here, but it's
incredibly
way too hard to live here now.
Yeah.
And it's unfair, but again, all of us, we try our best to stay here.
We're trying real hard.
Yeah, we will work the 3 jobs. Everybody will, try so hard, because this community, first of all, is super special. This place is beautiful. And so, of course we're going to try our hardest. And I think she, Governor Hobbs understands that, and probably understands it a little bit better even more now.
Right,
so.
100%.
Yeah.
So what's next on the horizon then, since everything's sort of slowing down but still picking up with the starter homes, is what's next for the development site? So we've got the infrastructure underneath going on. Then what beyond these 10 homes is next?
Well, hopefully we'll be able to actually, because originally we were going to do this in 4 stages, or actually 5 stages. Infrastructure, 10, 10, 10. 10 homes being built in a stage. But now it's looking like there's a potential that we can put the 30 homes up in one stage, and then make it go a little quicker, because it seems, from a logistics standpoint, it does seem like a better plan to have all of those foundation pads laid and put them all up at the same time.
Yeah.
Just do all of the things at the same time for all 30 homes. And then it'll be, it'll be quicker. It'll be easier for the homeowners that are going to be there during the construction phase of things. It won't be as much, that 2-year-long phase of, construction. Hopefully it'll be way shorter.
Sure.
It'll be easier.
Really much more volunteers to make all this happen too, right?
Yeah, well, we'll see. Our affiliate really doesn't utilize volunteers as much, and
see.
It's, volunteers are hard to come by. Everybody, again, in this community is working so hard to even stay here, so understandably so.
Yeah, I had to work the rodeo the weekend I was supposed to go sling some
I
cameras.
know.
Oh, no.
That's okay. We're gonna organize, or I'm gonna start organizing some, just weekends, kind of we'll do a weekend of flooring or a weekend of paint, but we need to kind of see how the infrastructure. I'd like to have that infrastructure just finished, and then we can kind of go in and we'll do a weekend of flooring, we'll do a weekend of this, we'll do a weekend of that. So you'll have your chance. I'll let you know.
Good. So Blaire, do you have any advice or any input for anybody that might be in the same boat that you were in and are looking to possibly get into a Habitat for Humanity home?
Definitely take the chance and apply.
Just do it.
If you think you're not the kind of person that deserves this kind of opportunity, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's good.
Yeah. Because I've been proven wrong pretty much every time I meet with the other home builders or talk to Jenn about this or talk to Eric. Don't be afraid to take that chance for yourself and your family. I'm walking around my office all day and I'm like, you should apply. I feel like Oprah.
Yeah. You get a house. You get a house.
It's really an amazing opportunity just to set yourself up for your future. There's other programs out there in the community, but this one is just, it's been so, I want to say seamless, but
I don't know how seamless.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
It was so just smooth. And you just really don't realize that you're the exact kind of person that they're looking for when you're going through that, because obviously your mind always goes to, well, someone else
Right.
might be better off. Someone
Right.
else
Someone's
might
in more
need this
need of
more.
need. Yeah.
But you have to realize that you are that person in need also.
Man, what an answer was that?
It was perfect. It was honestly perfect because that's the thing. It's like, I keep reminding everybody, I'm like, you earned this.
Right.
You have been here. You work in the community. You're a part of the community. You deserve this. Like
100%.
you are, just as deserving as anybody else. And during our selection process, that's the hardest part for our selection committee,
Oh, I bet.
because
Yeah.
there's so many deserving people out there. But yeah, I just, keep trying to reiterate. It's like, no, this is a perfect program for you. Like you've earned it. This is your step.
Right. I mean, you did the same thing for me when you initially told me.
I
about
did,
the
yeah.
program. I was like, you're joking. No, I'm not.
This is perfect for you. And like in the
No,
back
really
of my
good.
mind, I'm like, I know this is, because you really do have to exhibit, certain things, you have to have a job. You have to be able to prove that you're financially capable, and
It's just about getting that step in there.
exactly. Or just like the little push. It's just
Yeah.
just try for it. It's not, it's a rigorous process, but at the same time, so is going to the bank and trying to apply for a loan.
Amen.
And that was the big
Yes.
thing that got me with this too, because it is financially attainable.
Sure.
Because you're not having to go through this strenuous loan process. You're not having to sign your soul over to a bank at the same
Right.
time. Like you're coming up with this money on your own. It is attainable with your current income, even if you are, working part-time. This is still something that you could do.
Right, exactly.
So it is just an amazing opportunity.
This is great stuff.
I don't have enough good things
Well,
to say about it.
congratulations, Blaire. This
Thank
is
you.
super awesome.
Thank you.
I'm going to save all those recordings and use those for other things later. That was
Me
really,
too.
really good. Well, Jenn, thank you so much. You and Eric do incredible work with Habitat for Humanity. You guys are
thanks.
rock stars. We love having you guys in here. And Blaire, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
This has been Building a Better Flagstaff with Habitat for Humanity of Northern Arizona. We'll be back. This is CAF News Radio 93.5 and AM 930. News, sports,
Community.